Patriots win 16-3. Man, the quarterbacks got hit a lot this game. They they got hit throwing the ball. It was like a Dr. Seuss story. They got hit throwing the ball. They got hit scrambling the ball every time. Like one fish, two fish, three fish, black and blue fish. That is Justin Herbert and Drake Maye tonight. But they play whoever they played the winner of that Texans Steelers game. But Matt, what'd you think of this game? I thought Drake Maye used his legs, had to be very kind of almost safe and underneath. Patriots defense, I thought had a great game plan. But Matt, what did you think about this game with the Patriots coming out ahead?
Yeah, I think that's a great call out. I thought the Patriots defense had a really good game plan here. And I it was one of those where, and I've honestly felt this way about the Chargers, I would say, for probably the last month, is that you can't tell too much during the game. And anyone who's sitting here saying like, oh, nobody's open and they're not watching, they're not at the stadium in the middle of the game is totally fibbing, or they're just making it up, or they're doing a best guess estimation here. But it feels like Herbert either doesn't trust what's in front of him, or nobody is open on the back end. And I think that probably goes to, hey, the Patriots knew what was coming from this offense, which I think you can do at this point with the Greg Roman-led operation there in Los Angeles. We've talked about this, I think, at different points during the year, but I think that Greg Roman in this offense can be pretty good when everything is going right. It can be like NFL acceptable. It's not absolutely atrocious, but when the offensive line has deteriorated to this point, just conceptually what they're doing on the back end, they don't provide a lot of advantages for the quarterback or for the receiver or for the receiving core. And at this point, I just think it's withered to a point where a defense like New England that can put together these pretty good game plans can completely blot them up on the back end. So I thought that was definitely a big key to New England winning this game. And also on offense, Drake Maye's legs, and shout out Ramondre Stevenson. You know, I made the joke, which most people did not get on social media, like, yeah, second round rookie running back, Ramondre Stevenson, making plays late in the season, just like you want when this is what you want, your explosive young players to be stepping up. And they really did kind of just say, hey, we're going to have some issues with the physicality at the edge positions with the Los Angeles Chargers. Like, Tui Pelotu and Khalil Mack will beat you up, and that's really just not the Patriots' game at tackle, really, to protect in that way or to get the perimeter on the runs that they have at times there. So they're just like, hey, we're going to run right at him with Ramondre Stevenson, and he played pretty well in that regard.
He did, yeah. I know there's kind of like baseball jokes about like platoons, like, you know, having like a lefty-righty hitters. And it's kind of like just combine the names, and it's kind of like Ramondre Henderson is a hell of a player. You know, like that's a fantastic player if you just combine those two, right? No, but not only does Stevenson run the ball, I think that's a great point, but checkdowns. I thought the Patriots, I want to tip of the cap, is kind of, yes, there's a few sacks taken by the Patriots offense. There was a few strip sacks even by the Patriots offense. I thought Will Campbell had some rust. Always like the exact matchup that might give him issues unless he maybe shifts positions, which I think he could. Long-armed, athletic, bendy types usually give a lot of guys issues, but I think that he kind of wrapped around. May was trying to kind of double clutch some stuff and then like actually get rid of the ball, and you know, he doesn't have the biggest hands, so that ball can pop out. So I did think that there was just some of those kind of things that happened, but I think also the check down stuff and also just the protection stuff. What the Chargers want to do, sometimes they're not always blitzing, but they're sending those creepered and simulated pressures, which I'll group together, which is where they're rushing 4, but one of those 4 is like a off-ball linebacker or a DB and dropping someone from the line of scrimmage. But still you're dropping 7 into coverage and you're hoping to occupy the running back. So it just becomes a math game. It is that you have 4 eligibles out on routes against 7 in coverage. And the Chargers will play a lot of like kind of bracket coverage. It's not exactly bracket, but more matchy, where they have 2 or 4 eyeballs on one player, or 2 players sometimes. The first third down of the game, you kind of see that breaking down. But how you beat that is scrambles, and which has gotten Jesse Minter defenses in the past. And if the back gets out, not a lot of eyeballs are on him initially. They're betting, they're hedging. Hey, you're not going to get the back out, so we don't have to really look at him for about 3 or 4 Mississippis. But if the quarterback is kind of like, or Stevenson did a great job, the old line did a great job going to the right direction, and not the back wasn't occupied. And you felt like these little checkdowns were going for big plays for the Patriots. Kind of like that's really all they had going for a little bit. And then Drake Maye, the scrambling, like you kind of felt that as well, or not just felt that, but just saw that throughout the game. And I think those were just the successful plays for this team. I mean, there were still the turnovers for the Patriots. You know, you had the batted ball, Tier Tart, All Football 301 member. Great weekend for the All Football 301 team.
Yes.
I couldn't stop tagging you. I was getting obnoxious with this.
Dude, I think we got to raise our win total. Whatever we were talking about, you know, hey,
we said 7.
Maybe be a frisky, we win the NFC South type of division. Yeah. Hey, I don't know. I think we could upset. So with the performance by some of our guys this weekend, I think we could upset somebody in the first round of the playoffs.
I think so too. It was great for Parker Washington, Tier Tart.
Oh.
Even Mac Jones had a great drip on before going into the game. So that was just, you know, another
he
aspect
was
of all
flashed
football.
Two on the sideline once. So I mean, he made an appearance.
He did. He's a great backup quarterback. He's got great vibes with it. I think that's one good aspect with him, which I think is the big thing some of these coaches want.
Mm-hmm.
I did think you mentioned this about the Greg Roman operation, that I thought the Patriots defense, they were just teeing off every time they blitzed. And Herbert went 7-16 against the blitz for 69 yards and 3 sacks, pressured 9 times. Every time it was silent cadence. And every time they did the bob, they would shift, they would, or, you know, unload their disguise, like kind of just get into their final spots, whether it was blitzing or not blitzing. And I thought that's what just discombobulated them over and over. And it was like, change up the snap. Double bob, like do something, like do like a finger, like a hand down, and instead of the step. And it's just one of those things that just seems to always crop up with the Greg Roman offense. And I feel like you and I have talked about this many of times. You just feel it again.
Yeah, big moments like this too. It's like anything, stunts, blitzes, especially against
stunts.
A defense like, yeah, I mean, they could not pick up stunts to save their lives. And it's like this, I get it. It's a personnel problem on that offensive line. I 100% recognize that. I even think at times the offensive line, you know, the bar is just in hell for this unit, so it's kind of easy to say, well, maybe they exceeded expectations. And I saw some of that talk kind of cropping up during the game, but to me, it's just such a problematic unit. And then on top of that, you don't have any sort of schematic advantages. That's when you really start to feel like, oh God, you know, are any wide receivers even eligible in this game? I mean, you know, Ladd McConkey is basically invisible throughout the game. And at times too, it's like when they get open guys downfield, because you could see this, like when the ball arrived, the players are open, because Herbert has to bail out of the pocket or feels he needs to bail out of the pocket. That ball is not even it's a catchable play, but it's not an easy catch. It's made harder. Or like, are you hunting, you know, DPIs with some of these throws down the field? So it was just a really rough watch. This sounds so mean, but I texted one of the producers on the fantasy podcast about this during the game. I said, this Chargers offense right now, it just feels like a sick dog that, you know, it's time. Like let's just put it out of its misery. It's time to go. This team at this point, this is a team I was really excited about in the first month of the season. It's just so far beyond gone from that operation. Like,
Brazil
it feels like 100 years ago.
So long ago. It does. It really does though. Like, I remember how excited we were. It was like, man, they're just chucking it to the receivers. Like they're just dropping back and chucking it. It was like that. Yeah, it just feels like a mirage in the desert. It really does. And I think it's just so, I mean, maybe John Harbaugh brings back Roman. Maybe they just pass him around like hot potatoes until like it gets cool again. It's like, hey, this new fan base has no idea what they're about to get into. So we could buy it 2 years until we find a guy that we actually like. Maybe that's what happens, but it's just frustrating.